Good morning, sewers and quilters. Unfortunately, I don't have a new box to show you, a new bundles to show you from the Vanderhoof Department Store. From they're taking a break until September, maybe October, just to kind of get some new, fresh ideas and revamp. But I wanted to show you the project that we got in last month's bundle. The pattern is by Berry Birdie. And the supplies we were given were to make the farmer's daughter pillow. Now, the pillow turned out beautiful. Just so you have a heads up, if you haven't started your project yet, if you make it the way the pattern says and in the layout of the diagram, you are going to be short 11 2.5-inch printed squares. On the materials needed list, it says 45 2.5-inch printed squares, which still gives you a very nice size pillow, but just not the size it says here. It's just a misprint. Numbers got switched around in the typing up of the pattern. Not a big deal. So if you did get the bundle, we got some background fabric for, okay, so I'll show you my pillow here. So this is my pillow. It came out beautifully and 2 sides. But there is supposed to be 6 of these rows here. So I had enough background fabric left after cutting these pieces here that I could just add a border across the top and the bottom to get the size and dimension that the pattern calls for. So it wasn't a big deal. Actually, I quite like this look because it gives it that little bit of framing. And that, so just a heads up, you're going to be short, but this is the solution. I just took my the strip that I had left over, measured it, squared it off, and then split it in half. I think it worked out to be about 2.5, 3 inches, something like that. And then of course, I squared it off and made it all work. So love this project. It was lots of fun. The Berry Birdie patterns are written by a local lady here in Vanderhoof. She has a website, she has a Facebook page, an Etsy shop, and she has some of the cutest patterns out there. She's got a rooster right now, and rainbows and apples and pears and all these like really, really cute wall hangings. In the past, we have gotten the Christmas tree of hers, and that was a lot of fun. And it uses up a good number of like scraps. We got all these little scraps kicking around. It's like, just go with it. Have fun. So because there isn't any new bundles coming out right away, I want to show you some of my favorite things that we've gotten in the past bundles. And, okay, my favorite rulers that we've gotten in our past bundles, which is pretty much all of them. And what I've made with them. Because they're not the ones, what I'm going to show you is not what pattern came with it. It's just how my brain interpreted it. So the first one that we got was the Creative Grids pineapple trim up tool. And this uses tons of scraps. When you purchase it, this ruler, it comes with instructions. Super simple, lots of fun. And I believe it calls for like a 1.5-inch strip. It wasn't very big, and you can use a ton of those teeny tiny scraps. So the other year I made a trailer quilt. It's got like all these little retro trailers on it, and I had tons and tons of scraps left, and then I dug in my white scrap bin, and this is what I came up with. This is what I got. I got this beautiful little baby quilt. And so I'm very happy with it. It turned out super cute. It was lots of fun, and I made a good sized dent in my scrap bin. So it's nice when we don't have to go out and buy more fabric. Use what you have. As you can see, I got all sorts of colors in here. They're all bright colors, but I have lots of color in here. And so go ahead, dig in those scraps, right? The biggest piece you got to worry about having is a 2.5-inch square for the middle. Everything else is like 1.5-inch pieces, varying lengths. And you can use up a lot of scrap. The next one we got was the hexagon trim tool, and this makes a really, really cute block. When we got it, we got this really cute block. You have your little, kind of like the pineapple block, you have your centerpiece and you just build your way around it. And so if you want, you can really fussy cut something cute to go in the middle. But when I was a kid growing up, on the rangeland that my grandparents had access to, there was like a kind of like a little bowl in the ground. It was, or not little, it was big. You know, it had a flat piece and a big kind of curved around with this hill. And every spring, it would be covered with tons of black-eyed Susans, wild black-eyed Susans, or at least that's what we called them. So I just had fun. And this is what I made. And I kind of look at this now and I'm like, I'm still happy with it. But I wish I would have done varying tones of the yellow instead of going, or yellow, gold, whatever you want to call it. Instead of using all the same, you know, make some variations so they stand out better. All I did was I cut up my hexagons. I cut the hexagons. I cut the batting. I just sandwiched them, or laid them with so you have your two pieces of fabric facing each other and your batting on top. Sewed all the way around, left a hole, flipped them, and just zigzagged them together. Let's see if you guys can see that. See, yeah, I just butted them up together. The two sides that look, or the sides that were closest, I just zigzagged them. And I wound up with this really cute table runner. So yeah, I didn't bother with the Y seams. I didn't have to go and worry about quilting. Once in a blue moon, I got, I think in like this whole piece, I think I got like 3 of these little, it's hard to even see, little spots where they didn't quite meet up, but I'm okay with that. It was fun. I had a lot of fun making this. The other one we got, and I've actually used this one quite a bit, the roundup tool. I've used it for, I showed a table run that we made the other month. I used it, I just took it and took one of my friction pens and used the curves and drew the lines for my quilting. I need to get going on learning how to free motion. But I use these lines for quilting. I've used them for just rounding the edges of different projects. And so when we got this tool, we also got a pattern. Now I'm going to show you the table runner, and I think I showed it in that video, the other video too, what I did with the scraps, because it was like the pattern I gave us, we wound up with a fair bit of scrap. So I'm like, okay, what am I going to do with this? I'm not going to waste it. It's already cut to a fun shape. Use it. So this was the scrap off the original pattern that we got. And I think this could turn into a really cool looking, fun, modern retro quilt if a person wanted. Obviously these colors are not retro or modern, and that, but you could really make a fun blanket or quilt with this. And but I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's on my table right now because, you know, it's kind of got like a floral shape to it, and it's got some bright spring color, so it's on my table right now. So yeah, those are some of my favorite rulers that we've gotten over the last year and a half, 2 years that I've been getting the Quilters bundle. So I can't wait for it to come back in September. In my next video, I am going to show you guys how to make a drawstring child's beach bag. So it's just your typical drawstring backpack. And they're nice for kids because they are nice and light. They're simple to sew. So if you have a kid that wants to learn how to sew, by all means, they can do this with a little bit of assistance, with like the rotary cutter. That one always makes me a little nervous still with kids. Maybe I'll grab my oldest granddaughter and get her to do it with me. We'll see. So that's going to be coming up in the next couple of weeks, and it's just fun. It's a lot of fun. For the bag, you need 3 meters of cording. So just like this, or some comparable soft rope. You don't want something that's going to be too abrasive on the children's skin, or on your own, because you could use this for a swim bag for yourself or whatever you would like to use it for. half a meter of fabric for your outer, and that's going to give you your outer, your outside pocket, and your little tabs, and your sleeve at the top, and then a half a meter of lining. Don't go crazy. Don't buy an expensive lining unless you're going to make it a double-sided bag. I haven't, well, which really can't. I've used muslin. I've used two fat quarters that I wound up with that I don't like. So yeah, in a couple of weeks I'll see you back, and you guys, it's gonna be spring break here, and that, so I'm going to enjoy my spring break, especially now that I'm done. At the end of today, I'll be done at school, and all of my kids are finally done at the school, are finally done making their drawstring backpacks, which I should have made a video first. It would have been a little easier for the kids to follow along. Sometimes reading directions is hard, and I know even as an adult, reading the directions and comprehending the directions are harder. And so, note to self: next year when we start our sewing project, do a video. And but can't wait to see you guys back in a couple weeks. Go on out, grab your supplies, dig in your stash. You know, you could even use a charm pack and piece your pieces. And which actually I might do for myself, because I like to go to the beach, so I might piece some. So I will see you guys back here in a couple of weeks, and I'm hoping spring decides to show. Have a good day.